I don't have a whole lot of storage in my phone, and I'm having a bathroom renovated in my house, so there's a lot of noise, can't be on my computer, but I know you guys love the quality of my phone anyways, so the baby is asleep in the back right now, so we'll see how long this goes. I also didn't tell anybody that I was going to do a live today, so, but I was thinking about just answering some questions that you guys have had that you've been posting just to get started on here. And I really like that it doesn't use any of my phone data so that, I can still upload a little easier without having to, worry about that. Anyways, um, welcome to today's live. Hope you're all doing well. I had a question in my coaching group about the snake juice diet guy, Cole Robinson, and his sugar water fast. So I guess that's what we'll get started with until some other questions come in. So my opinion about this is that it's not necessary, okay? Just follow the diet recommendations that I suggest, which is eating fruit, having sugars, and eating starch, okay? Getting in all forms of carbohydrate. It's going to be more satiating. It's going to provide you with fiber. It's going to be more nutrient dense. Um, it's going to be more sustainable. So the only benefit to doing like a sugar fast maybe would be if somebody feels like they need to do it in order to get off of fatty foods. So you have like a break from the fatty foods, but you don't even need to do a sugar fast in order to have a break from the fatty foods. You just need to eat the fruits, add the sugar. I've got some Sour Patch Kids in my bag right now. These are my favorite kind of Sour Patch Kids. These and the peaches. Um, but you don't need to do a sugar fast, okay? I've done like clear liquid diets, which is kind of what a sugar fast would be like, because it's just sugar and water, right? I've had to do this I had to do it when I was in labor with my son because I was having uh, a VBAC. So that's a C, a vaginal delivery after a C-section, and you're at risk for uterine rupture. So they wanted me on a clear liquid diet. I opted to drink apple juice, and I also had like little ices. But the whole concept here is that there's no fiber. And sugar just dissolves and gets into your system that way. So there's really nothing in your stomach. So that would be, what Cole is proposing. But what I will say is that maybe he needs to do this for himself. And he's also all about like extremes, right? A sugar water fast would be extreme. And he said you can lose 10 pounds in 5 days. That is just going to be waste that is in your system, okay? It's from the food that you're eating every day. So that sticks about a little bit more so if you are eating solid food, hopefully you are eating sufficient fiber so you are having regular bowel movements every day. But if you're losing 10 pounds in 5 days, what that's going to translate to is mostly just the waste that would have been in your system from eating solid food. The other thing is if you're already insulin sensitive and you do like a sugar water fast, you might burn more fat during this time because you're taking in less fat. Even eating like fruits, sugars, and starches, I'm still taking in, 7 grams of fat a day about. But, doing a sugar water fast, you're looking at 0 fat grams, 0 protein grams, 0 fiber, 0 nutrition. And I just don't think it's necessary. Try it if you want to, but it's not necessary. The other thing too is Cole is not vegan. So when you're having animal protein still in your diet, it is going to be a huge chunk of fat and protein that is going to make you less insulin sensitive than you would be if you weren't consuming it. So maybe that's just, something to consider for him personally. Maybe he does this sugar water fast in order to better control his own dietary fat intake. But like I said, it's not necessary. Fruit, sugar, starches, make that the bulk of your diet, add some vegetables in for a little extra nutrition and fiber. Keep the fiber in your diet to keep your GI system working strong, okay? Okay, here are some questions. Yay. Please talk to us about perimenopause. I started this week with your diet as the weight gain has been crazy. Thank you. So, I work with a lot of women who are in perimenopause or menopause, and what I promote, the high carb, low fat, plant-based vegan diet with specifics in terms of, you know, calories, carbs, protein, fat intake, works for everybody and helps you to become in better balance in general. Okay, so generally, if you're having perimenopause symptoms and menopause symptoms, which some women don't even experience if they have been consuming sufficient carbohydrates for a large period of time preceding these hormonal changes. Neil Barnard wrote about this in his book, Your Body in Balance, about how traditional Asian cultures, if you talk to the women there, they don't experience menopause. Well, I mean, the cessation of the menstrual cycle happens, but the symptoms that go along with it aren't a thing, okay? So I think it's important to note that most women in westernized society have been consuming a diet that has not been so supportive of their hormonal health, and that will inevitably cause more issues, more symptoms when you are going through menopause. It can also influence when menopause starts to happen as well. So, the best bet, regardless of where you're currently at, is to just hop on board the high carb, low fat, plant based train, get your body more insulin sensitive ASAP so you can give your body the best bang for its buck in terms of dealing with menopause and perimenopause. Okay, thank you for the question, Ella Whitson. Dark Knight says, Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you. I decided to run my first 5K race since, oh my gosh, probably 2019. Over the weekend, it was the St. Patrick's Day 5K race, and they actually do a distance festival, so there's like a 10K afterwards, but I just did the 5K because last time I did a 10K, I was okay, but my hips started to go, and I just realized that I needed to do more training, and then I was advised to just focus on the 5K for now and getting my time down. So I ended up finishing at 26 minutes 30 seconds, and I was okay with that time. What I had been running it in, I do a 5K time trial every week, was 27:30 around my house, which has a little bit more hills. I've also finally like broken through with the sinus infection stuff. I decided not to seek treatment and just I did like a sinus rinse the other day, which was awful. But I feel like it kind of like helped to release some things, and my eyes starting to look normal again. I mean, I'm starting to feel better, so we're on the mend. But anyways, I ran this race having this sinus thing going on, which I just had a lot of post-nasal drip during the race, and I feel like it interfered with my ability to breathe. But either way, I was happy with my time, just that it was better than what I had been running at home. And I finished third in my age group, so that was really exciting. Okay, but yeah, so that was my St. Patrick's Day experience. My kids also built the coolest leprechaun trap. They made a leprechaun disco party to lure the leprechaun into the trap, and then the leprechaun was not able to be trapped, but he did leave them a big tip for the good time. Okay. Ashley B, I replaced my coffee with just warm sugar water. Excellent. Excellent. So coffee raises cortisol and sugar lowers cortisol. And that's what we want, is to have normal cortisol levels. So cortisol is naturally high in the morning to help us go find food, have a little extra energy to do that. And then we want to have something sugary to lower that cortisol so that it stays normal the rest of the day. This keeps us in the fat burning zone. So good job, Ashley. Okay, Bradley Rodney. Ask her to take off the glasses. Why do you guys want my glasses off? Okay. Maybe for a little bit. You can still see my eyes a little messed up, but it's getting there. What happened was I flew and then it trapped the sinus whatever like in my like eye area, and it's just having to continue to drain. It's my first time ever having a sinus infection, and I had a concussion in December, and I wonder if the concussion made me more susceptible to a sinus infection. I had like an upper respiratory thing, and then it turned into this sinus crap. It's been a while. Anyways, and then I thought, about going in and getting like conventional treatment, but I'm breastfeeding and I was like, I don't want antibiotics, I don't want steroids. Ironically, too, this is really interesting and I need to make like an actual video about this. Is that I had picked up some Flonase, which I used like maybe 3 times in the last 4 weeks, but it contains a glucocorticoid steroid. So, um, natural glucocorticoid steroid is cortisol, okay? And there's a link between glucocorticoid usage or just having chronically elevated cortisol levels and osteoporosis. So, ironically, who ends up getting osteoporosis? The population that does is it's women, okay? Usually Western living women, okay? And the reason why they're most susceptible to osteoporosis is because they've been having these elevated cortisol levels or using glucocorticoid steroid, artificial products like prednisone, hydrocortisone, there's a whole list of them. But I just thought that that was ironic. And what do most women do? Okay, they try to cut their carbs, they yo-yo diet and calorie restrict. So they're either calorie restricting or they're binging, calorie restricting, binging. And binging is really a subjective term because it's just the body making up for the lack of calories in the diet. They use coffee and other caffeine, and then they generally don't eat enough carbs and eat too much fat. So that causes the elevation in cortisol that generally leads to a lot of other symptoms too, like depression and irritability, mood swings, not sleeping well. So yeah, just thought I'd share that information. And I probably need to put my glasses back on just so I can read these questions. Okay. Maverick Dakota, do you like graham crackers? Because I could be your teddy bear and you could be my honey. Oh my gosh. So graham crackers are fine, but they do contain oil, which is unfortunate because they do taste good. I remember eating them as a kid, and my kids like to have graham crackers. They're good for if you have like a bellyache or something. But their fat content is just like, what the heck? Why do the graham crackers gotta contain so much fat? And I'm not into honey either. Honey can be inflammatory just by default due to the acids that it naturally contains. Sugar is a better option. Maybe I should make my own graham crackers. I'm making a low-fat vegan chocolate cake for my daughter's birthday this weekend. She's really excited. She prefers the low-fat desserts as opposed to the higher fat ones because we will just like get her like they do have a vegan chocolate cake at the grocery store, but it's like higher in fat content and she just doesn't like it. So I figured she likes chocolate. I know it's not the best for kids, but what are you supposed to do, right? And it's a special occasion. That's what she requested. So I'm doing the trial run of that today, and then I gotta make the real thing tomorrow. Okay, Jonathan Chandler. Hey, hello. Okay. Somebody says, Sahil, hello, are you a nutritionist? Yes, I have a Master's of Science in Human Nutrition, and I do nutrition coaching. You can register for that through my website, www.nutritionbyvictoria.com. There's a link in the description of this video. Okay, and just keep in mind, I am not reading anything that's inappropriate. Okay, I'm a professional lady. We're keeping this professional. Okay. Somebody says kids are going through puberty as young as 9 years old. Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with the hormones that the kids are consuming, particularly in dairy products, because that would be a girl starting puberty at that age, and dairy is something that is regularly fed to children, um, even in like the school system, because my kids go to public school, and they have an option to get like the breakfast there or the lunch there, and most of it's like the government issued like food stuff, even though they go to a good school. But they do have like an option for soy milk, but then my kids said they tried it and they didn't like it. So anyways, soy is actually much lower in estrogen than dairy products, and there's always like a hot debate about that, because right now, like Dr. Ashley Lucas, she promotes the consumption of raw dairy over soy, when raw dairy is naturally going to contain more estrogens. Um, Dairy too can contain even more estrogen if the cow is pregnant while lactating. Isn't that interesting? Um, but anyways, estrogen can contribute to um, puberty happening sooner in children. So soy contains phytoestrogens, but it's not the same as the dairy. So the when we consume phytoestrogens, it doesn't impact our overall estrogen level. Okay, what else can increase estrogen levels would be dietary fat intake. So a high intake of dietary fat can promote elevated estrogen levels as well. Okay, Ella Whitson says, thank you. You're welcome. Hopefully I helped. Paul Woodgate, you're so beautiful. Oh, thank you. I feel a little bit like I need to sleep more. Always, but we're making it work. Haunted says, hi, Victoria. Ooh, somebody says I replaced my the Z triple Z. I replaced my coffee with Monster Energy. Oh, you're headed that much caffeine. Have fun trying to burn body fat, because having cortisol that's elevated from caffeine, especially a large dose, is going to prevent fat loss. Okay, it's going to favor fat storage, because you're basically telling your body that there is something crazy going on, and elevated cortisol um, will drive more sugar into the cells, but then it will stimulate the liver to turn on gluconeogenesis as well. So you start catabolizing muscle tissue for energy production, which we don't want to do. We want to eat a diet that is muscle protective, and that is a high carb, low fat diet. Okay, sufficient carbohydrates too, because you can eat high carb, low fat and still be under eating. There is a debate always about low calorie density. Isn't the benefits from this all because it's about calories in, calories out, and low calorie density? So no, that's not how it works at all. Um, Low subscribing to low calorie density pretty much says that you believe in calories in, calories out. And the reason why I say this is because when you're subscribed to a diet that is low in calories, you inevitably are thinking that fat loss occurs due to a calorie deficit, when it doesn't. I mean, it can, but that's at the expense of the metabolic rate. So, whenever you decrease your calorie intake, you are inevitably going to be at some point running out of glycogen and stimulating gluconeogenesis. Also, if you're gaining weight on sugar, adding sugar to your diet, it's because there was some insulin resistance there. So the sugar exposes the insulin resistance. Yeah, I know I go off on tangents, but that's the whole point of this, is to share information. So The way that fat loss truly works is that you need to have sufficient carbohydrate there to drive the TCA cycle, which generates energy. And then by maintaining a dietary fat deficit, you encourage your body to burn its own body fat stores. So we're always burning fats and carbohydrates. It's just a matter of eating sufficient carbs and keeping the diet low fat so you can tap into those body fat stores. That is what Percival Himsworth discovered with his research on sugar tolerance, is that excess carbohydrate with a low fat diet promoted insulin sensitivity. So this is about hormonal balance, not calories in, calories out. Okay. Hello from Sweden. Hello, Frederick. Azion, hello, I joined this live to tell you that I like the color of your hair, by the way. Oh, thank you. It is completely natural. And actually, it just recently got blonder because we've had some sun and I've been outside. My son loves to play outside, so I try to get him out as much as possible. And it lightens up my hair quite a bit. I had a hairstylist tell me a long time ago that I should never color my hair because the color of my hair is what people come in and try to replicate. So I never have. And coloring your hair definitely damages your hair. My sister went down the path of coloring her hair, and her natural color is actually that of my middle child's for the most part. This really pretty, like, auburn color that's got like red tones and blonde tones and brown tones in it. And she, like, my sister bleaches her hair. She kind of looks like Barbie. um and it just leads to damage, and then you got to spend all that money going to the salon all the time. But my mom has naturally blonde hair, and then my siblings and I all ended up with naturally blonde hair, and then my children have all ended up with naturally blonde hair of varying tones. Okay. Haunted. I am torn about foods. I have reactions to many non-fruit foods, and I think I can only eat fruits and vegetables. Starches give me reactions. I would need to know more information about what's going on. Some people find that starches are a bit heavy. That's why I recommend having them at night. Some people are coming from insulin resistance and metabolic damage and low carb diets, and that can all play a role in digestive functioning. Also, the fitter you are, the stronger your GI system is going to be. So I came from having a completely wrecked GI system. And everything used to give me problems. And what I did with starches to get used to uh, being able to tolerate them is I started out with like rice cakes. I would eat a lot of those because I just found that they digested better for me. And then I moved into, actual rice. And now rice is like my BFF. Um, Even if I'm having like potatoes or something, I find that rice is like the safest starch for me, and keeping my gut balanced and healthy and functioning normal. I have zero bloating, zero gas, flat belly all day long. Even after I eat my big starch meal, if I don't have too much vegetables with it, I'll still have a relatively flat belly afterwards. Not as flat as it is in the morning, but as flat as it can be, having lots of food in it. So also have regular bowel movements. So, join my coaching group and I can help you sort out what's going on. Okay. Lovely to see you, Victoria. Thank you for awesome live. Stay blessed. You're welcome, Gregory Cariolis. Jody Harviton, what's up? So many people are saying that too much cardio is bad and that it's better to lift weights and walk rather than lots of high intensity cardio. What are your thoughts on that? I think that for general health, everyone should be doing 30 minutes. Actually, it's not just me, it's recommended by the American Heart Association, I think, that you should do 30 minutes of cardiovascular exercise or aerobic exercise every day, or 6 days a week, or it's like 150 minutes a week. And this is a low to moderate intensity cardio. You want to do it once a week, you know, get that 5K TT, do that, time trial on your bike, going up a hill, do a GCN VO2 max workout. GCN is a global cycling network. Um, their YouTube channel that I recommend if you do indoor cycling. So that this will increase your fat burning potential because it increases your VO2 max. But then you want to follow it up with a steady state cardio. Now, cardio is a non-issue if you're eating sufficient carbohydrates. So that's what it all comes down to, is that cardio will increase cortisol while you're doing the cardio to encourage the sugar to go into the muscle cells faster, okay, for energy production. So after the cardio session, before the cardio session, you want to eat sufficient carbohydrates. And then after the cardio session, you want to eat sufficient carbohydrates. So I usually will have like Sour Patch Kids before a cardio workout, and then I'll follow it up with like an actual like meal of fruit, or it all depends what time of day it is, but that's like what I generally do. Or I'll wake up in the morning and I'll have like an orange juice with sugar is what I've been typically doing. Then I'll wait like an hour and then I'll go and do my cardio effort. But most of the time I'm just going at talking pace. And the more carbohydrates that you consume, the more cardio you can handle. So it all is about cortisol and managing that. People who are recommending resistance training over cardio are not eating sufficient carbohydrates. And I'm not saying that resistance training isn't important, but resistance training is not going to help you burn the body fat that you want to lose, okay? It's not going to increase your VO2 max. It is going to put muscle on your body, which is going to increase your overall metabolic rate, but in terms of fat loss potential, it's in the cardio efforts. You just have to make sure you're eating enough carbs. All right, my son's waking up, so I'm going to have to cut this soon. Maverick Dakota, agave is a vegan alternative to honey. Yeah, but sugar is still a better option. It's cheaper. Chico, I've been eating about 900 calories of white rice a night with a belt with about 300 calories of white table sugar, and the rest of my food comes from fruits during the day, and I'm not losing any weight. Join my coaching group and I'll troubleshoot what's going on with you. Usually it's a matter of, you're not going to just lose weight right away, especially if you just started doing this. It's about becoming insulin sensitive and then staying consistent with the diet, adding in the cardio exercise, and then watch the magic happen, in the next month or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, depending on what kind of background you're coming from, dietary background. Okay, Scintillating on Divinity says Brian Johnson said when he tried to eat sugar, he felt bad. That's because he's insulin resistant. He eats a low carbohydrate, high fat, low calorie diet. Since he calorie restricts, he's insulin resistant, and that's why he feels bad and takes metformin, suppresses gluconeogenesis. Yes. Brian Johnson is a train wreck. Okay, so if he ate enough carbs and reduced his fat intake, he could eat sugar and stop taking metformin and feel good, correct? That is correct. You got it. Somebody said shows your feet. That's funny. I have socks on. Boop. Oh my gosh. Ripped up socks. I wore ripped up socks to the airport, and the airport security guy made fun of me too. I need to get new socks, but I just like wear my stuff out. I'm not one of those like always buying more crap. I really wear my crap out, and then maybe I'll like buy something new. I definitely have to buy like new running shoes once those start falling apart, but I usually wait. And then my shoe size, I'm a women's size 10. If you're curious, honey dipped chocolate. If we wake up in the middle of the night and are hungry, would you recommend eating? Yes. Usually if you're waking up in the middle of the night and you're hungry, it means you didn't eat enough the day before. Okay, Gregory Cariolis, Victoria, do you believe that incorporating table sugar, dense sugar sources accelerate the healing? Yes. Sugar increases insulin sensitivity. Somebody asked, where am I from? The United States of America. How bad, Tertullius. How bad is coffee? Helps me eat less. That's exactly the problem with it, is that it increases your cortisol and it shuts down your appetite, which um, encourages your body to store fat and be insulin resistant. Okay, Chico, but if sugar exposes insulin resistance, why is it I can eat all raw diet, just fruits, and the weight melts off rapidly, but when I add white rice and sugar, the weight loss stops? That's because you are probably not eating sufficient calories. Join my coaching group. So you can tell me exactly what's going on, because a lot of times people think they're doing something right and they're not. Like, there's definitely um, specific recommendations that I suggest that encourages insulin sensitivity. And so eating fruit all day, maybe you're only eating 1,000 calories, and then when you eat, rice and sugar, now you're eating 2,000 calories, which stops the weight loss, but it also exposes some insulin resistance that was created from just eating the fruit. So what we need is for the body to be insulin sensitive, and I use objective measures to determine that with a glucose meter with my clients, and then we move forward from there. Okay, Gregory Carriola. Started high carb, low fat 7 weeks ago. I am 38, 5'7", 63 kilograms lean. I am loving the benefits. The energy, happy vibes. Was keto, did OMAD for a long time, did fast. 48, so like 48-hour fasts, 72s in a couple of 5 days. Wow. Well, sounds like you're killing it, Gregory. You are getting the benefits of insulin sensitivity on this diet. Because fasting definitely uh, fasting is an interesting one because it lowers your fasting insulin, because you're not eating and you're not taking in fat and protein that's like blocking glucose absorption either, but because of the lack of glucose coming in from the diet, your body gets programmed to be insulin resistant, so when you start eating after a fast, it's there to help you put the weight back on. It's a survival mode. Our glycogen stores so that we don't have to use our backup survival metabolic processes to stay alive. Okay, so eat the sugar, eat the glucose, eat the carbs. Okay, so Fluella had soy kefir for the first time. Hope it helps with bloating. I'm not a big fan of fermented, like probiotic foods like that. Usually you just need to eat fruit, sugar, and starches, and you're good. Like, I came from having a really messed up gut, and I tried all that other stuff: kombucha, probiotics, yogurts, all kinds of stuff, and nothing has worked as good as fruits, sugar, starches. Abs are made in the kitchen, says Dave 12. Yes, they are. Haunted Chico, when you eat white rice and sugar, is it definitely fat? Or could it possibly be bloating? It could be both. It could be fat if you're insulin resistant. Chico, got it. Okay. Marvin, hi from Germany. What's up? Big shooter. Okay, I don't know what that even means. Somebody, Chico says it's the same white every morning for the past 5 days. I would think that I would have lost 2 pounds at least. It's the same weight. Oh, okay. You need to give it more time, okay? Patience and consistency are the virtues of this path, all right? And then the results stick. The results, the metabolic changes occur, and the results happen as an accumulation of your dietary and lifestyle habits. So you have to get that on track, and just keep in mind that you need to do this for a while, okay? 6 months, 12 months, like, this is it. You don't need to do anything else. Just this. I mean, when I first came onto this path and I gained a bunch of weight, and I was like, I don't know if I like this, and so I yo-yoed it, and then ultimately I just had to ask myself, like, do I want to do this or do I want to do something else and keep like struggling, right? I had already tried everything else. So when it came to this, I was just ready to just let everything go, trust the process, relax, and be patient. And the results came. And now I have the results. And they're amazing. Okay. Um, Chico, but if I switched all fruits, no cooked food, the weight just falls off rapidly. But I wanted to eat white rice because I've been going to the gym. The white rice makes me feel stronger. Yeah, you need more carbs, bud. Gorilla Strong, I love your hair. Oh, thank you. I probably need to get it cut too. It's been a while. I want to eat white rice too and other starch, but the digestive reaction. I think people who have just done fruit for too long can't handle the starch. Yeah, your digestive system probably gets weaker too from just not eating enough fruit. If you're not eating dates and bananas and on a fruit-based diet, you're not eating enough fruit. Ray Fershke, I don't know if I said that right. Hi from Alabama. What's up? I've never been to Alabama. Haunted. I get pain in the lower intestine and I'm convinced of the things raw vegans say about starch. Wish it wasn't that way. No, you just need to drink more water. And regularly eat more starch too. Like, oh, the raw vegan dogma, you know. Probably need more calories. Join my coaching group so I can get you sorted. Okay, here's the truth. Chico, I'm eating like 1,600 calories altogether. Yeah, you're under eating. I kind of figured that. Um, I think starch is a healing step from a meat diet, but hurts coming from a raw diet, says Haunted. Um, I've done this. I've done raw and then going to starch. And starch is definitely slower on digestion, but that's why I recommend having it at night, you know, so then it builds glycogen overnight and you don't bonk overnight. Okay? We want to keep that metabolism rolling. We need sufficient glycogen. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to wrap this up. Okay, Gregory Cariolis. I have my glucose intolerance meter checking my blood sugar levels. Well, it's a glucose meter. Because I want to do it correct and not guessing, I want to get insulin sensitive. I can feel that I'm not yet insulin sensitive. Yeah, take your fasting glucose and 2-hour post meal glucose and join my coaching group and send me your numbers. Chico, yeah, a lot of raw food to say starch is man-made and poisonous. It's not. People have been consuming starch for a really long time. It actually led to the advancement of our civilization because we finally could grow carbohydrate. We finally could have like a sufficient amount of carbohydrates, so we don't want to like population increases all over. Yeah. Okay, hi, this is Yvonne. Hi, do you recommend more protein if you want to build muscles, or can I build muscle with this diet? Carbohydrates are muscle protective, so that means that if you're eating sufficient carbohydrate, you're going to protect the muscle that you have, and then the protein that you're consuming is going to go towards muscle growth. But don't consume over like 100 grams of protein a day. It's too hard on your kidneys, and it's just not necessary. What about soy sauce or salt? I have soy sauce every day, and I use salt on things if I feel like I need it. You know, I use salt to taste. Okay. I love all your videos. This is from Gregory, and all your information. It helps so much with my healing journey. Thank you, Victoria. I have so much patience. Going to stick to this for as long as it takes. Love the energy. You're welcome. The energy comes from carbs. You know, this is simple. Our metabolism runs on glucose. Put the carbs in, get the energy out. Boom. If you don't want fat on your body, don't eat it so you can burn it. Squeaky clean. You're insanely beautiful. Thank you. All natural. Okay. That's it for this live. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to go play with my little buddy. Stay carved up, guys. And for those of you who need my help, join my coaching group. There'll be a link in the description of this video, okay? Bye, guys.